My name is Kreltar of the Vraxian Guard, and I have faced death on 17 worlds. I've charged into Zealothi pulse cannons, survived Etherian mind raids, and once killed a void stalker with my bare claws. I thought I knew fear. Then I fought alongside humans. The distress call came from Mining Station Theta 7. A devourer swarm, those nightmares that consume entire systems, had found the mixed species facility. By the time our coalition fleet arrived, we were down to just 3 ships, my Vraxian assault cruiser, a Corvani destroyer, and a single human frigate called the Milwaukee. This is Captain Janet Morrison. The human commander's voice crackled over comms. We've got 200 civilians down there. We're going in. The Corvani captain's scales went pale. That's suicide. There must be thousands of devourers. We should mark the loss and retreat. Negative, Morrison replied. No one gets left behind. I'd heard stories about human stubbornness. I hadn't realized it was pathological. We breached the station's upper hull and fought our way in. My warriors are bred for combat. 3 meters tall, natural armor plating, redundant organs. The Corvani brought energy weapons and tactical discipline. The humans brought determination. The first time I truly understood humans was when Private Thomas Martinez took a devourer's acid spray full in the chest. His armor melted. His flesh bubbled. Any sensible species would have accepted death. Martinez stuffed his own burning uniform into the wound, used his rifle as a crutch, and kept firing. Can't stop now, he gasped when I tried to help him. Kids down there. We pushed deeper. The devourers came in waves, writhing masses of teeth and hunger. My warriors fell back, forming defensive lines as we'd been trained. The Corvani created kill zones with overlapping fire. The humans went forward. I watched Corporal Lisa Park charge a devourer queen, a creature that spawns hundreds of young from its bloated form. She had no chance. She knew it. She went anyway, carrying demolition charges. Park, get back, Morrison shouted. Negative, Captain. This hallway leads to the shelter. If she spawns here, the explosion shook the station. Park was gone. So was the Queen. And the path to the civilians remained clear. That's when I learned what fear really is. It's not facing death. Any warrior can do that. It's watching humans face death and keep going, knowing you might have to match their courage. We reached the civilian shelter, 40 Vraxian cubs, 60 human children, plus adults from a dozen species. The devourers had them surrounded, probing for weakness. Defensive circle, Morrison commanded. Marines on the perimeter. Everyone else, prepare for evacuation. I thought she meant to hold while the civilians escaped. I was wrong. Sergeant David Kim looked at the huddled children, then at his squad. Hey, Captain. Remember that thing we're not supposed to do? Morrison paused. The thing that's against literally every regulation? That's the one. She nodded. Do it. I watched in horror as the humans began giving their weapons to the older children. Pulse rifles to teenagers. Sidearms to anyone who could hold them. They were arming cubs. This is insane. I roared. They're children. Kim looked at me with eyes that held no sanity. They're human children. They know what to do. A human girl, perhaps 12 years old, checked her rifle's charge. Mr. Kim taught us at school. The gun is always loaded. Never point at anything you don't want to destroy. Finger off the trigger until ready. You teach weapons training to cubs? The Corvani captain was aghast. American school system, Kim shrugged. We call it active shooter drills. The devourers attacked. What followed was madness. Human children, cubs who should have been helpless, formed firing lines. Their parents guided their aim. Squeeze, don't pull, one mother told her son calmly, as if teaching him to throw a ball. The boy nodded and put 3 shots center mass into a charging devourer. Marines would fall and civilians would pick up their weapons. A human grandmother, silver-haired and frail-looking, operated a pulse cannon meant for powered armor troops. When I asked how, she said, I used to be a tank gunner in Korea. We held for 6 hours. 6 impossible hours. When relief finally arrived, they found humans teaching Vraxian cubs trigger discipline, Corvani young learning suppressive fire patterns, and a defensive line that had not yielded 1 meter. 30% casualties. Mostly human. They'd put themselves between death and everyone else's children, not just their own. As we evacuated, I asked Morrison why. Why sacrifice so much for other species young? She looked at me like I was insane. They're kids, Kreltar. That's what you do for kids. Later, in my report to the Vraxian High Command, I wrote, humans are not fearless. They feel fear like any other species. But when protecting the innocent, especially the young, they simply decide fear doesn't matter. This makes them the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Recommend immediate alliance. Never, ever become their enemy. I have faced death on 17 worlds. But I learned what true terror is, the moment you realize humans expect you to be as brave as they are. And worse, the moment you try to live up to it.